For this episode, I want us to introduce operator overloading by first understanding the types of problems that we run into without operator overloading, and essentially see how we can solve those problems using operator overloading, right? So for context, what I want us to essentially try and solve, right? Let me just go ahead and open this, right? So this is a simple 2D plane, right? So don't worry, this is not a math class, but I just want us to essentially have an idea of what we are talking about, right? So this is a 2D plane, and we have 2 points, one located at x2 and y2, and essentially the other one located at -3 and -1, right? So what we want to do is essentially compare these 2 points, right? And essentially if they are equal, right, if these 2 points are equal, that means that essentially they are located at the same point. In this case, we can see visually that these two are not at the same point, right? Because for them to be at the same point, the x value and the y value would have to be the same, right? So essentially that's what we want to try and do, right? What we want to do is compare these 2 points, right? So essentially let's just go over our class that we have built here, right? Our class takes in essentially rather as two properties, right, with which is x and y, right? And then we have our constructor that essentially just sets up those values, right? So and then we created those 2 points, point A and point B, right? And we essentially passed in those parameters 2 and 2, right? So remember what we said. We said that we want to compare these 2 points and essentially check if they're located at the same same point, right? We know visually, we have seen that they're not located at the same point, but we just want to prove that, right? So if I went ahead and said point A essentially is point A, I'm asking a question here. I'm asking the question, is point A equal to point B, right? What happens is, let's just go ahead and compile this. Alright, so we end up running into a lot of errors which are essentially very difficult to interpret. But at the basic form, what C++ is saying is that you gave me essentially a data type, right? Remember, a class is essentially a data type that we as the programmers create, right? Just like an int, just like a boolean, right? These are data types, right? But with int essentially, or integer, and a boolean, right, it is a built-in data type. But with opposed to what we have with a class, right, which is a data type that we build, like I said, as the programmers, right? So what C++ is saying is, you gave me a data type point, right? Remember our class, the name of our class is point, right? And another data type point, and you're saying that I must compare these two data types. But the problem is, you never wrote, or rather I don't have a rule for what you just did. For example, if I went ahead and said int, or rather let me just go ahead and say bool, right? And then I went ahead and said is 1 equal to 2, right? In this case, because essentially, remember, this is an integer, this is another integer. The comparison of two integers is already built in into C++. That means that C++ knows essentially, whenever I see an integer and another integer, when I have to compare them, there's already essentially a rule for that, right? So in this case, this would return false, right? So in this case, C++ does not necessarily know what to do with point A and point B. Remember, we said that as in this scenario, we are the mathematicians. We know that essentially what we want to compare is the value of x, of rather essentially the x value of point A and the y value of point rather the x value of point B, right? So let's just go ahead and open this. What we want to do is essentially compare this value, the x value with this x value, right? And then also compare this y value with this y value. And if they are the same, meaning if this is the same as this and also this is the same as this, then they're located at the same spot, right? That's what we want to do. But C++ does not know how to do that, right? So that's essentially what we want to solve, those types of problems, essentially, whereby we want to use operators such as this comparison operator, right, to use them in our class, right? So let's just see how we can essentially introduce operator overloading. All right, now that we know the problem that we want to solve, let us go ahead and introduce the basic concepts that will allow us to essentially understand what we want, how to solve it, rather, right? So let me just go ahead and say int. Right. So what we want to talk about essentially is operators in general before we get to operators overloading, right? So we're saying an operator in this case is essentially can be a simple mathematical symbol, right, that allows us essentially take in input and return an output, right? So when we hear that taking input and return an output, the first thing that you should be thinking is a function, just like this simple function that we build here, right? It takes an input and essentially returns an output, right? So at the basic form, an operator is a function itself, because in this case it takes in the input one, right, and another one on the other side, right, and then essentially returns something. So we can essentially say operators are a function, right? And we'll see how essentially that comes, rather that relates to what operator overloading, right? So we have concluded that what an operator is a function, right? So in this case we have different types of operators, right? We can have a binary operator, we can have a unary operator, or we can even have more, right? So those words, what they mean essentially is that a binary operator just takes in two inputs, just like in our case a plus takes in two inputs, right? So how it works is that if we say that it takes in two inputs, what happens when we have 1 plus 1 plus 2? Essentially what happens is this is going to be evaluated first, right? That means that it's going to take in these two inputs, right? And then after that, let's say this returns 2. Let's just go ahead and put this 2, right? And then it will take in now this the input, right? So it only takes two at a time. That's a binary operator, right? And then in some cases you may have a unary operator that takes in only one input, right? An example of this is essentially the NOT function that we are used to, right? So we know that the NOT function, essentially this symbol over here, just reverses an expression, right? It takes in one expression and reverses the Boolean value, right? So that's essentially what operators are, right? They're essentially just functions that take in input and return output, right? So we need to essentially just go back to function overloading, right? Because remember we're just trying to connect the dots here. Operator overloading, right? We're essentially just building up to that, right? So essentially we said we talked about operators, right? And we said that they are functions, right? So now we want to talk about this concept called function overloading, right? Essentially we talked about this in our previous video, right? But we're just going to briefly talk about it again, right? So we say that it is a feature in C++ that allows us to essentially have functions with the same name, right, but just different signatures. When we say different signatures, we just essentially mean that it may have different parameters, may have different orders of parameters, right, and all those kind of things, right? So if you want more details about function overloading, right, just watch our video on essentially function overloading, right? So but for example, this function, if we went ahead and called add and we passed in only one parameter, C++ automatically would choose this function over here, right? So and then if we passed in two parameters, let me just put this, right? C++ essentially will choose this function over here, right? So yeah, that's essentially our function overloading, right? So let me just go ahead and remove this. Right, so now that we know the basic building blocks such as function overloading and essentially operators, right, it is time we essentially introduce what operator overloading is, right? So we said that essentially an operator is a function, right? That means that we can and we saw that essentially functions can be overloaded. That means that they can have the same name, just different essentially parameters. That is essentially what we want to accomplish, right? For example, if I went ahead and said bool, right, so what we want to do is essentially this is an operator, right, and it's the same operator over here, right? So essentially what we are saying is that this is the same function, right? Then the difference is that now they're going to be having what different parameters. So in this case it's going to have a parameter of an integer, right? In this case it's going to have what a parameter of our class point, right? So we're going to have essentially the same function, right? In this case the function is this comparison function, right, and then different parameters. That is why we call it operator overloading, right? In other words, essentially what function overloading, right? Because essentially it is the same operator, right, but because of the different parameters, right, essentially it may essentially perform a different task, right? So let's just go ahead and essentially define it, because remember what we said that this is not defined. This expression here is not defined because C++ does not necessarily know what to do with two points, right? So let's just go ahead and go into our class, right? We're going to go ahead and say bool, right, because this is our return type. Because remember, at the end of the day, right, as complex as it is, this is essentially just a function. So in this case we need to return something in this unless it's a void function, right? So in this case we're returning a boolean, right? So remember, we're returning a boolean because we are comparing 2 points, right? So we want to essentially see if these 2 points are essentially at the same point, right? So we're returning a boolean, right? So how we go about doing this, we're going to say operator, right? And then the operator that you want to define. In this case, we want to define the comparison operator, right? We'll see maybe just in a second how we can define other operators, right? But for now, we want to define this operator, right? So we're going to essentially receive input, right? And this may seem a bit weird now, right? But we're going to receive only one input. So let's just go ahead and say const, right? So what we're going to do is essentially receive essentially 1 point, right? And then essentially let's just go ahead and compare the two. We're going to return this, right? So essentially we need to answer a few questions here, right? The first is, why are we only receiving essentially one parameter when we said that essentially in this case this is a function and it's going to be receiving 2 parameters, right? So by default, right, the left, we call this the operand, right? The left operand essentially is going to be calling this function, right? So we're going to have something like this. We're going to have point a dot. This is essentially this expression over here, right? So the left operand is always going to be calling essentially this function over here automatically. In this case, it's just a more cleaner syntax. We don't have to write all this, right? Someone else could write this and it wouldn't be wrong, but you can see how this is essentially just more simple, right? It's just basically saying we're comparing these two, right? So that is why we're only receiving essentially technically one operand, right? Or rather one point, right? So when we compare, right, we can use the keyword this to refer to essentially the one that's making the call. In this case, it's point A, right? And then we just compare essentially the x value first, right? And then we're saying that if this is true and if this is also true, then just return essentially this, right? This is going to be automatically evaluated, right? And then let's just go ahead and compile and see what we get now, right? So the only problem I have is that I did not print the result, right? Let's just go ahead and do that. Right, as we can see now, the result is essentially false, right? 0 essentially means false, because essentially, like we said, these two are not located at the same point, right? So that's essentially how we can perform operator overloading, right? So let's just take one more example and see what else we can try and do, right? So let's try and essentially create a third point, right? And this third point, what we're going to do is essentially add the 2 points that we already have, right? So let's just go ahead and try that. Let's go ahead and say point C, right? In this case. So again, the problem we have now is that we have 2 points, in this case, 2 defined data types, right? In this case, the data type is of a class, which is a point, right? And then we have the plus. C++ essentially does not know what to do with this because this is not defined. Again, like essentially what we explained from the beginning, this is not defined. That means that now we need to essentially define it. So let's just go ahead and do this, right? So now we ask ourselves a question: what are we returning? In this case, we are returning a point, because remember the sum of this is going to give us a point. So let's just go ahead and say and return a point, right? We can return a point, and we're going to say operator. In this case, our operator is going to be plus, and then we essentially just going to receive that one input. Right, so how this works is essentially, remember we said that this left operand is going to be essentially be calling this function, right? Similarly to how we could write it is essentially say point a dot operator and then essentially passing that value, right? Right, that's essentially what we'll be doing, but you can see how this is essentially more cleaner because it's basically just saying point A plus point B, right? We don't have to understand what's going on here, right? So essentially what we are doing, essentially, remember we are receiving it, we receive the other point that's been passed in, right? What we're going to say is return point. Remember we want to return a point, so this is matching this, right? So when we do that, we're going to say we're going to pass in the sum of the x values and the sum of the essentially the y values, right? And then essentially this constructor is going to be called automatically for point C, right? So that's essentially how we can go about essentially creating or rather overloading operators, right? So you can do all types of things, and you can return all types of data types depending on what you do, right? Just make sure that whenever you want to essentially add or subtract or essentially use any of the operators, right, on data types that you defined yourself. In this case, what we define is a point or rather a class, right? Just know that it is not built in, right? C++ does not necessarily know what to do with it, right? So that is why we have to essentially manually define those points, right? So that's essentially how we can use our operator overloading. If you found this video helpful, just go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you don't want to miss any new releases. Otherwise, cheers.